time, guys. It's been about 2 months since my car has not been running, and since I made my last video. Now, I had a lot of plans for this car. I was going to wrap it. I got Brembo brakes for the front. I was going to upgrade, but my motor fucked up. Yeah. So, as some of you may know, I bought a new motor. I picked up one from JDM of Oregon with approximately 40,000 miles on it, and it's a JDM BQ35. Same year for this car. Now, it can be really unmotivating looking at a car like this in this condition. Just looking at it every day, not being able to drive it. But I just spent $1,700 on a new motor, so it's gonna be in this car. That motor is currently sitting at my dad's house in his barn, where I plan on doing this swap at. We have uneven ground, it's all dirt, and it's really dirty in there. There's a boat sitting in there. So a lot of work has to be done before I can actually do the swap. Since I don't have any help, I'm not going to be able to drop it from the subframe. I'm going to have to take off the whole front support, radiator, condenser, all of that stuff, and that's going to be a challenge, to say the least. It's been really hard to be consistent lately when the very thing that you base your videos on is not running and there's not a lot of content to be putting out about it. So that's been very difficult for me. I've done a lot of things in my life so far, different passions of mine that I've become crazy about and obsessed with, and sometimes they don't work out and it's hard to feel like this isn't one of those. Just kind of letting myself down, really. I'm very hard on myself, very crucial about the details and getting things done. The point of this video is to start a series. This is going to be a series, and I'm starting it now on rebuilding this seat and getting it back on the road before winter hits. If I know myself, I want to say that this will probably take 4 days once I have every single part that I need. And I'm going to document the whole thing for you guys. But yeah, guys, with all that out of the way, we're going to go and open up the motor for the first time ever. It's just been sitting in black shipping wrap. So we're going to go over to my dad's and open it up, see what it looks like. I'll catch you guys there. Alright guys, this is what we've been waiting for. I have the new motor right here, 40,000 miles I got from JDM of Oregon on their website. Shipping cost and motor total, it was $1,700. I want to get this motor fully prepped before I put it in my Nissan. I have a lot of parts that I want to take off the old motor, and I also have to take off the AC compressor and the power steering pump, because the way that I'm going to swap this motor, I'm not going to take out the AC compressor, power steering, because I'm not trained enough for that. I don't have the proper tools, the machines to do that. So there is a way where you take out the front core support and you can just move the condenser to the side and the power steering. So that's the method that we're going to use. It's the easiest, in my opinion, without having a car lift. So yeah, so let's get started by breaking the tension on these tensioners. I think this one's going to be 14. That's great. That's a great start. Mind you guys, this is going to be my first ever engine swap, and unfortunately I'm going to be doing it alone. So we'll see what happens with that. I would like to say, guys, that this isn't a tutorial. This is simply my experience with learning how to swap a motor by myself. So it's probably going to be all over the place. I'm not going to have it step-by-step proper tutorial because I'm not knowledgeable enough about it to be confident enough to share it with other people yet. But hopefully I'll get there. So what we've done, We've released the tension on the tensioners, and we're gonna get both of these off, these belts. Alright, keep track of these guys. And next, we're gonna take the compressor off. Alright, as you can see, we have the AC compressor, power steering pump, and all the bolts are back in the holes. So this is going to make it easier for us to swap them back in when we have this motor in the Z. Next, we have to take care of the Japanese harness. Now, it is going to be a lot of work, but should be able to get it. I mean, look at this, guys. You can still see the number for the coil pack. Like, this motor is very new. I'm super excited to get this in there. Alright, had to get a tool. My Mac Tools Nip X. By the way, it's a scam. Just get the regular ones. I need to figure out how this guy comes off. Probably a pry bar, I'd say. I have all the bolts off. So yeah, gonna need a pry bar. Alright, we got a couple PCV hoses. Ooh, that smells like gas. That's not good. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, there's some burnt oil up there, and there's a lot of it too. That's not good. That is a lot of oil. Shit. I guess you never know with these crate motors. I mean, it definitely has around 40,000 miles on it. I can't deny that. But this one definitely had a really bad blow-by. Now, hopefully I'm not the one that suffers from that. If you guys know anything about VQ35s, they're notorious for this. But I was at least hoping with a low mile motor that I wouldn't have to go through this. We'll see how it turns out.
So there's a duality in the possible reasons behind the oil I found pooled in the plenum. On one hand, it could point to internal engine wear, maybe bad blow-by from tired piston rings, which would make sense given the symptoms. But on the other hand, there's the reality of Japan's drift scene, where engines are often driven hard and then pulled before they blow, meaning this could be the aftermath of a life spent bouncing off the limiter. And then again, it might just be the result of years of sitting, gaskets drying out, oil settling in places it shouldn't. It's hard to say without digging deeper, but the duality, mechanical wear versus cultural usage versus time. It's part of the mystery of importing old JDM motors, but the only way we'll be able to tell is when we start this car. So, yeah.
Jesus. Look at this, guys. That's a lot.
You guys will also be able to see later in the series where I compare my old motor to the new one.
That is a lot.
And you can see right underneath the valve covers, the valve terrain, it doesn't have any of those oil stains that this motor is going to have. So the chances that this one had bad blow-by are kind of high, but I'm keeping my hopes up. I spent a lot of money on this motor, so I'm kind of hoping that things will work out towards the end. I've also ordered a bunch of Liqui-Moly related engine treatment products, so I'm hoping that all of that bad oil stains and things of that nature will clean up real nice. There's only one way to find out, guys, and that's when we start this, so.
I'm definitely going to keep a couple parts, like whatever this guy is. I'm sure you guys can tell me in the comments. It's got good hoses on it, so might be worth keeping. Alright guys, It's been a couple hours. What I did was I made more room inside of my barn, pushed the boat all the way back, and now we have the Z out here. It's perfect. It fits just well enough for me to get on either side and do the work that I need. Right now we're kind of in a stopping point. So this is the ECU harness right here. It needs to get pulled out, taken off of this bracket right here, pressed onto there. And then we have a whole bunch of other connections and hoses I need to worry about. My plan right now is I'm actually going to take a pause on this for today. I feel like I made a lot of progress. And I also need to get a lot of plywood. I need to get plywood for the bottom right here on the floor so that I can run the engine hoist all the way through. I also still have to take off the front cover along with all the accessories right there. I need to take out power steering, AC compressor, condenser, put it up on there. I need to swap over the intake and the Kinetics intake manifold. Also need to swap over the valve covers. We still have plenty of work here to do, but my camera's about to die. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.